We search for the lost boy in the hospital. My brother is so humble and full of compassion. I feel an ogre in my belly. I want to put my fists through brick walls. I want to devour rooms full of fast food. I want to hold forth on all the microphones in America. This is my introduction to the first 4 of Deadline's lifelines on a Sunday in winter on Canyon Road, sleeping on the mat on the floor under a Pendleton by Christmas lights. Volume 1 is the heart of the Deadline. Volume 1 is under snow. It's black outside, and the news is bleak. Hope is the birth of a child. Faith is in the Creator. Gratitude is to the ancestors. All the rest has no power, like the burnt-out bulb of riot-torn L.A. I chose the other side. I chose to turn. I chose hardship. I chose living outside. I dropped everything. A storm is brewing. I give it up. I don't give up. I am tenacious. I am irascible. I am incorrigible. I grow like a weed in America's consciousness. The camera is running. The picture black and white. The image fuzzy. And no soul is stolen. There are only stories in here. There's only desert wind, ghosts, shades of memories. But in this is power. This is no bullshit. The ship is not a boat. My ink invisible. Draw me, do George. It fades into beginning. Is everybody here? Okay. Let it roll. Scene 1 takes place on the Dragon's Back. Atomic blast is science's beginning. Volcanic eruption moves the sun. Rocket fuel. Stop sign. A man with a baby in his arms. Sean on the bike. Wayfarers. Recognize it before it forms. Love scene 1-on-1. Mara, Maya, Mores. Brian, Mara, me, and Sean on a couch, discussing the scene. Conspirators. Elliot here to give direction. The scene? Just give me a camera. Loud overdub of traffic. America on highway sound. It's a simple thing to strip the sheen off the vision. Whose movie is this anyway? Will it ever be filmed? Book to movie. Gotta have a screenplay. Well, this is it. Conceptually, what we're dealing with here is the common problem of the filmmaker who imposes on our reality a falsehood of images that teaches us concretism and the loss of God, the acceptability of our brothers, sisters dying at the hands of brothers, sisters, bloodletting, okay. The irresponsibility of youth is cool. It runs the world, feeds the ego. Deny the heart sustenance. Who rules? The power of money. The supernatural is beyond nature. Luck exists. Mystery is violent death, etc., etc., etc. The solution is to take the tenets of this sort of cinematic approach and demonstrate and expose them in a real, literal way. So the monologue, this monologue, is superimposed on the action, and thus becomes the hidden agenda and ultimate motivation for all character movement and development. Flashes of history, the hidden history, true history, the songs of warriors and their deeds is interwoven in the film's visual flow in order to flesh out the world in which the action takes place. This turns the visual unfolding of the plot into a stream of postmodern poetry, and soon after the film begins to be filmed, it acquires its own life, a phenomenon in the commercial movie world that generally indicates the doom of the production. Take Apocalypse Now, for instance. I am turning into man at the end of the calendar. I am moving like a firefly through the night. I am slipping in the mud towards the foot of the hill, listening for footprints in the snow. I am painting the Mona Lisa in thin air. I am dipping my quill in invisible ink. I am slowing down to negotiate another impossible curve. I am writing a letter to God. I am re-entering the atmosphere. I am making love in the silence just before dawn. "Where does the sun go?" he asked her. "Away from the moon," she replied. Why does the camera fail to focus on my life, and why does it only focus on my flesh? I can see you only when the lights are out. Once a cougar slept in my bed. Where did it go? It's still there. I know what you're thinking of, or should I say, whom. The owl comes to the wake, and we all knew, it was a witch. The witch who killed him. Why do the characters speak so seldom, and why have we been given the heavy silence? Silence. Burden of being the voices without names. It is our destiny. The question of faith is the most vital question raised by this huge tome. I disagree. I believe the question is the absence of faith. So, then why do you question so much? It is for the benefit of the reader. What reader? The reader who must read this book alone. I have only a moment to live. Who gave you your life? I don't know. Is it because who gave you your life has no name? It is because I do not know what my life is. How can this be resolved? Faith. I am afraid. I am also afraid. I feel better. So do I. I lost my wallet outside the bar, and someone brought it back to me when I was stepping through the door out of this life to rescue you. I felt abandoned. To whom do you owe your life? I have forgotten his name. Our bodies wish to kiss. Is this allowed? What time is it? Time to go. Time to go? Time to go. After our bodies kiss. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Tell your mother I love her. Why is it so difficult to learn a trade other than the one which drives me to such lurid or lucid extremes? You have forgotten the most important thing. What is it? To remember is to know the future. With no past and future, there is no now. I miss you, but I haven't gone anywhere. You went away and came back. Yes, that's true. So where are you now? I'm standing by the icebox. I hear the river inside. I am hungry, but I know the icebox is empty. No matter how much I know, it doesn't cure my hunger. It's the loneliness. Your heart feels too big for your chest. The same picture rolls across the screen again and again. I lost my love in the tide, and it returned with the tide. Was it time, or the orb self-propelled? The author knows shape shifting. He knows how to move like a cat. He is waiting for the right moment. There were many times when nothing would materialize, meaning the stories would disappear for a while, like the sun behind the clouds. Nothing stands still. 68,000 miles a second. Change is the determinant. Change is the result. Change is the constant. I only wish that you could read my soul like you do a book. I'm so tired of having to explain myself. If the Lord had given us wings, he would have... If the Lord had given us wings. If the Lord had given us wings. The stagnant pond is still the source of life. May I hold your hand? Yes. The drama of movement is the singing of angels. Move me. Move me. When you listen to me with your eyes glued on mine, I don't feel alone anymore. Even when I am silent, your listening gives me life. It is a renewal. It's a miracle. Standards, morals, ethics, tradition, how we mark the passing of time, cycles. It all happens in the dark. Do you see my blood pouring from this pen? Use your eraser if you must. That's what the author said to me. Don't doubt it. Rely on it, he said. Do you see the blood? Do you see it? He said, use your eraser. He's mad. If only my life had been different, I would not be who I am. Do you understand what it is I'm trying to tell you? There is no sunshine when it is dark at night. Have we become that close, my love, that we can only share our fears? It is faith that binds us together. The rest is but illusion. What kind of sorcery is this? This, my friend, is love. But I'm too young to grasp the totality of it, the bigness, the scope, the magnitude. Aye, and thank God for small favors. I would not have the strength to face it, and yet the daydream is the source of invisible movement. It is unformed prayer. The pity I feel is for a shade of myself from the past or future. Ignore me when I feel it. For which movie is this the script? A movie that has no name. I lost track of my days on this deserted isle. They began to flow together, but without ceremony I lost my humanity. But we must not invent ceremony as we would invent a smokeless ashtray. No ceremony is given to us by the Creator through the spirits, in dreams and visions, for which we suffer, for the people. But we are modern men. We cannot forsake our creations. That would be wasteful. That would be criminal. Those words describe the process of your creation. They bear no relation to the methodology of creation with a big C, which man cannot know, but only submit to. I fear I'm lost. Your fear is well-founded. How can I return to the fold? You must learn to pray. My pride. A gun to your head. Burden me with your wisdom. Weigh me down with the miracle of your communion with the universe. I am weak and pitiful. I come to you in a humble manner. Have mercy on me who am ravenous for knowledge. The mysteries are passed spontaneously from person to person, old to young, generation to generation. Wait, I hear the wind. Listen. All will be revealed. Go to the stream, which becomes a river, which becomes an ocean, which becomes vapors, which feed the stream. We are turning. White Buffalo says, don't be afraid of poisons that are man-made. We are getting ready to mutate anyway. I wish you could stay a little longer. I'll miss you when you're gone. It's you who are leaving. I have no choice. One always possesses the ability to choose. Momentum, this is what would negate choice. Everything must stop. It's impossible. Everything is possible under the sun. It's the impossible that makes the possible possible. What's the password? Faith, freedom, acceptance. All the words in the world will not make a dancing stick. It sounds like we're talking in a cave, aren't we? I looked at the world, but it did not see me. So I went to the mountaintop and prayed, and I was hit by lightning and died. Who loves you? You do. Trust no one. When the fire burns low, you must add more wood, or the fire will go out. Metamorphosis. The angels sleep only while they are awake. This is nonsense. There are no angels. Stasis. A concept. An idea comes and goes and returns to visit the children of gods. I lost my train of thought. All aboard. Don't take me so literally. You are only an unnamed voice. How can I relate to you in any other way? You're making me sad. The hands of babies are soft. Ha. Ha. The sword has no edge, and yet it cuts through the air. Sincerity is an obstruction to the movement of opposites. Who said that? Someone is in the room with us. How do you know? I can hear its breath. What can we do? Who are you? What do you want? Shh. It's foreign. We were given this room. We must protect it. Let's kill it. No, first we must be courteous and ask it to leave. Kiss me. What about the children? Let us pray. Goodbye. Goodbye. All I'm asking for is a roof over my head. All I'm asking for is some warmth in my bed. If you don't give me what I want, I'll pump you full of lead. I just need some more skin to shed. They taught me to forget in school when they asked me to memorize nonsense. Don't kill the messenger for the message he brings. That's what they do. You don't want to be just like they are. I'm not. How are you different? I belong to a tribe. They wish to study tribalism, I see. My family shrinks every day. That's not what the census takers say. A demon in a three-piece suit is still a demon. Some people fall in love with the scent of fear. Who are you? I found your footprint in the mud. Then came the rains. I'm the one who cries when you go away. Going away is the same as arriving, depending on one's position. How pithy. Where can you go where we are not in the same place? I am crying. I am laughing. We are the same. When do words become more than words? When they are said so the Creator can hear them. How did you learn such things? By not asking questions. I am sitting in cold water thinking of summer. Did you learn my mantra, or are you reading a newspaper? Fluidity is the silk dragon dancing in moonlight to the sounds of the surf. I want a table to place my food on a plate on, where friends may gather, where love is eaten at every meal. It shall be so. My father is a red man who sailed the 7 seas. My father is an Irishman in cowboy boots. My father is I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. My father is a prince who flies through the air with greatest of ease. My father is a man who beat a man to death for beating a horse. My father is a man with one heart and many heads. My father is the founder of this great gas station on a racetrack packed with 200 million fans. My father is my father. My father is a retired veteran of foreign horrors. My father lost his leg at Antietam. My father is St. Francis. My father gave me life and he hasn't come home. My father gave me life, and he wasn't home when I came to town. My father blessed my soul with ancient prayer, unspoken. My father gave me a sword in the form of a dop kit. My father lives in the desert and only comes to market for beans, sugar, salt, and flour, bullets, kerosene, and black ink. My father stuffed my pockets with gold, but my mother never sewed the holes in my pockets. My mother eats brie at an empty table in the darkness, sipping wine and smoking cigarettes. My mother gave me life and listened for thunder in the distance. My mother dances on the piano and sings bawdy songs in San Antonio. My mother loves Errol Flynn movies. My mother bought stock in a company that dealt in fine lines. My mother whispered in my ear and caressed my cheek. My mother cooked bones in an oven till they crumbled to dust. My mother dressed dolls in the afternoon, singing dirges and wedding marches. My mother suffered like all mothers do. My mother is a historian. My mother wears the same name as my mother. My mother sent flowers to every lover in town. My mother plays the lottery like a canary stalks a cat. My mother wants a daughter, and we gave her a stereo. My mother is the heiress of the Divine Mother. My mother wears the dresses she makes. My mother is a stranger who slips into the night. My mother wastes nothing but gives away her treasure. Who are you? Did you hear that? Of course. What was it? The darkness that envelops the world. I will scream with fear. This is how prayer is begun. I am on my knees. How long have you been there? All my life. How long will you stay there? All my life. Did you see those men on stage hammering steel guitars? Yes. They are my brothers. Don't leave a word out of your story. It's a long story. What other use for a tree is better? Do you want me to answer that? Remember what I say. A child was playing at the edge of the lake. A tiger roars. Have you ever seen a tiger? Yes. When? It was the summer of 1984 in New Orleans at the zoo. Did they roar? No. How do you know a tiger roars? By watching the way the tiger sweeps flies away with his tail. I knew you before. I know you again. Can a person see what is in another's mind? Can a tiger kill an antelope? Does the world move in a circle? Are you a scientist or a child? How can man live without his creator? By gnashing his teeth. I saw you sitting by the lake on a stone. That was my reflection in the water you saw. The dwarf changed into a tiger. The tiger became a crane. I experienced the rapture with my son. One of the souls was lifted by a white light and taken to heaven. One continues to function in this world despite this? Yes. Who is the innocent and where does he live? He is our first incarnation. He is the soul of the wanderer. He is the newborn's eyes. He wears white. His anger is furious. He lives or dies. Where does he live? I see you standing there. The snow scatters across the mountain until nearly everything is burned and buried. While I understand these things, I see this to be a dream. I only look to see nothing. That's nonsense. I agree. Fog and shadows, the movement of light across the horizon, a dance in profile, footprints in the snow, angels at the edge of clouds between my eyes and the sun. Do you believe in God? Your query is an indictment, the epitome of arrogance, the bleakest sort of impotence, the blasphemy of mind above soul and body. Your query is your damnation. What do we do when this madness becomes too much? We do. How can we be having this conversation? We have no names. How can we be doing anything? Theories and questions into action. We need an amulet. We don't need anything. We have no names. What about illusion? Surely we must have illusion. How can one survive without illusion? One can survive, but the many? This I don't know. How long will it take for you to learn and read your lines? I accept that my character is finite, though the drama is not. If I were to tell you that the legend is really the breath that came before, would you believe me? If I were to tell you that the legend is unfolding and that only one breath exists, would you be believable in my book? Faith is the predictor for fruitful exchange. If I loved you any more than I do, the pain would be unbearable. What face will you wear? The air is very heavy. I feel darkness coming. I can see your eyes. Good night.